Alright, OC. Doing your Kayn versus Rengar VOD. Look at this. Didn't know how to play the game, everything I did was wrong. Alright. Obviously you got invaded. Do you die here? You know, you probably flash with the one live. Okay, well, obviously a bad start. Nothing really you could do here. Like, there's no way to ward entrance. There's no reason to expect it either. So, nothing your fault really here. I would say I would probably not pat down this game, just because top is Vlad versus E, so it's ungankable. Vlad has no CC. Um, but like even then, like who knows? You just get it. Honestly, it doesn't matter. The fact that you didn't even start your blue means I mean, your bot side means you're actually fine. So you actually, even though you lost your flash, you're actually completely chilling. So not a bad start. And then you get invaded here. Honestly, this shit kind of just happens. There's not really any way to avoid it, cause like, like if you if you ward here, he could have skipped a camp and already been here. Obviously, he could have had a war. They had a war on your blue, so he could have literally just started your red. There's not really much you could do to like avoid this per se. I mean, the one thing I would say is a lot of times as Canes and Folkler jungles, you always do Raptors to Krugs. One reason is because it's better to cycle Raptors to Krugs. Second reason is because it's safer. Because if you're doing Raptors to Krugs, Krugs are kind of not really invadable because it's so far to walk this way. And by the time you see them, like it's way safer. Because when you're doing Krugs, for example, here in red, he could just walk while you're doing it. At Krugs, if you're pulling them in the bush, you'll see if he walks this way, or he walks from this way. That's why. So really, the safest thing to do is just to do Raptors to Krugs. There is no. You could technically get invaded on red buff every single game as Kayn, and Kayn will lose 1v1 versus most jungles level 3. So there's not really any fix to this besides to just run to Krugs. Um, that's why most Kayns do Raptors to Krugs. Again, not only is it safer, but again, it's honestly also better just for your clear. So your game is still fine. It's not like you're like Omega fucked. I say this is when okay, you didn't die here, so you're not Omega fucked. But if you die here, this is where the game would be over. A lot of times it's fine to start the game from like behind, but you don't need to go into this like complete flip shit, right? If you press tab, I'll wait to see if you press tab. Okay, you do for half a second. Let me try to pause it. Okay, so he has 12 CS, you have to understand, right? And when he fought you, does he have red buff or blue buff? He has red buff. So when you see him here, that means he did this. He did red Krugs Raptors into this invade. He skipped his entire top side. What does that mean? That means his Krugs probably spawned at 415, right? So after this invade, he's going to do this, and then he's going to do top crab, and then he's going to do blue, Gromp, wolves, and he's probably going to recall, right? Uh, and obviously if you see right now, it's 3:15, so he's going to be late to his camps. Um, so right now, I mean, just because you have no W, you just go to your wolves. If you're on your camps instantly, it's impossible. Like when you die early game to an invade, the most important thing is not to get re-invaded. The first death is not that is not that important. But if you get re-invaded, like he invades you on Raptors in a minute from now or on Krugs in a minute from now, that's when you get fucked, right? Because on Rana, you're only down one camp. He only took one camp from you. But again, you did 4 camps, right? He did 3. So you're actually you did 4 camps, he did 3. You're actually technically up a camp, right? Because he had to skip camps to kill you. So you're actually not that behind. You're only behind if if he reinvades you or if you're late on your camps, right? So right now, if you're on your wolves and Grump, you're completely safe. The problem is if you die right now, if that's how you get fucked. Obviously you didn't die, but the point is when you're behind, you really need to just like make sure not to fall farther behind. And ganking a Karina with no W is like, I mean, it just yeah, yes, you have no W, you have no slow. Um, again, Rengar has it's not really much you can do. So you see Rengar bot. I know actually no, that's Poppy. Sorry. My worry is yeah, you have to understand. Even if you get a kill here, if Rengar takes your Raptors and your Krugs, you're fucked. Like it's like GG. That's what you have to understand. Even if you get a kill, right? That's why it's. So I'm not saying the gank's bad per se. I think I would go for this too. It's just one of those things where you have to understand the downside of it. So again, to reiterate, it is worth. But as you walk into your top side here, if I'm you, I will be like be mentally prepared to see someone in your jungle right now. Because if I'm Rengar and I see Kayn bot, first thing I'm gonna do is run into his top jungle. So just be mentally prepared to get ready to avoid bushes. Like I would even maybe walk this long way to Raptors. I'm terrified of this guy being here. Maybe now that you have flashback up, it's not too scary. But okay, and he's not here because he's bad. Thank God. Now we see our wolves are spawning, so I would just play for your wolves. I think you've actually recovered well. Yeah, he never reinvaded you, which we said is the biggest concern. You got a gank off, so you got some assists and some orbs. Again, now you're close to 6. If you get your wolf, blue, Gromp, you'll be 6, and now with 6, you're able to play the game again. So I think you fully recovered, which is good. You see Katarina, you see Rengar mid. I would start with W and then Q, just again because Poppy W exists, and you usually see him, so I would literally walk to the very edge here. W, it's gonna slow him, and then you could chase and get your Q off for orbs. Um, and this is actually really good. This guy dies. Now you get your bot camps, sick. You get level 6. You look back ball in, and you just die. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I actually think you recovered well this game. You're the same level as Rengar now. If we press tab once you're dead, I assume you press tab when you're dead. Look, your CS is even, 44, 46. You have 4 assists to 2 kills. That's around the same value. A kill 300 gold and assist is 150. So you actually have the same amount of kill and assist. If you didn't die there, you'd both have 1 death. 1 death, you'd have 1 death. I think you actually completely recovered. You just shouldn't feel like you're necessary to go for these like super, like how do you call it, um, like super English, sorry. Um, what's it called when? Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm brain farting. Desperate. Like this feels desperate. Like look how big this wave is. Like fucking 6 minions, 3 minions. Like it's such a huge wave. Just on his quarter HP, she can't even jump in or she'll might die to Ezreal like one like auto Q. Just go to your camps. You got red up, you got blue up, you got red up, you got Krug spawning, Raptor spawning soon. You got like this feels desperate. Like I think before when your game was shit, this made sense to go for. But now again, I think you fully recovered. You're even CS. You haven't got any of your camps reinvaded. At this point, it's like completely filled. Just do your camps. Once you then recall when you have 1,000 gold, buy your items, then play for form. Gank these guys when you're full HP, not fucking 50%. Like it's just not a necessary gank, you know. I think your game is again fully stabilized. You could just take a chill pull. This feels very very forced. Obviously, I say something obvious like you're in a wall versus Poppy, so it's not gonna you're making it easy for her. But I don't know, you just chill. I think when the game was like this, it made sense to go for desperate ganks because again, you have all your camps down. You died early, but now like you've recovered. Once you've recovered, you could kind of act like you have to switch mentalities from behind to ahead to even. When you're behind, go for desperate plays. When you're even, play normal. When you're ahead, play super safe. In this case, I think you're even again, and you kind of went for like a gank like you're behind. See Rengar tops, you should just. I guess you have two options: either immediately start dragon or invade. I think normally you would do dragon, but now since you're balling that you can't. You also understand that you're getting punished here for your death. Like if you didn't die and bot earlier, you'd be like 20 seconds faster when you're clear. Instead of being here, you could potentially be here for the 3v3. So this just shows like a lot of times when people die here, you're like, oh, not that big of a deal. I didn't really lose that much. Like Tristana got a kill. But you have to understand if you were just full clearing up instead. Let's say you're on your blue right now. Now blue's dead. Now you're walking to your top side. You'd kill your red buff right now. Now you kill Krugs. Now you kill Raptors. And now you'd be like right now you'd be like on like now you'd be recalling and probably opening to bot side, or you'd be just on wolves right now running bot. Like you'd be so much faster to bot. And a lot of times when we're dead, we don't see this. We don't see like where we would be instead if we never died. You're so much slower on the map when you're dead. And potentially you could be here, and then potentially if you're here for the 3v3, maybe you would save your bot lane and kill them all. Who knows, right? Or at the very least, you'd probably get form. Um, so normally you'd get dragon when you see Rengar top. In this case, because your bot died, you can't. And I also think it's also one of those things where if you see her, she sees you. It's not right. So it sounds like it sounds funny, but that's just how that is. So he saw you. I think now the plan should just be E over the wall and leave. You have E. Don't know why you're not using it. There, use it. We leave. Thank God. You took one camp away. Not bad. We come for this fight now. So you're actually up a level. So I think you fully recovered. Ult, nice ult. But can't really fight. I mean, Victor's basing. The fact you have to go for this like super fast. Under the impression of like, okay, right now it's a 3v3. See, I see Poppy, Rengar, and Ezreal, and so it's jungle, support, 80-80, 3v3. But Victor's basing, so if this goes long, Cat will come and Victor won't come. So if you want to go fight, it has to be an instant fight before Cat comes. The second Cat comes, can't fight. And obviously, as you can tell here, because these guys are running away well, now we have to just leave. At this point, now you should just leave this way. If you walk left, cat will be here. So again, if these fights feel desperate. I know the score's 11-5. Jaime, I really don't think the game's that bad, to be honest. I think again you're farming well. You're up a level. You have hubris and base, pretty sure, or you're like really close to it, or sorry, profane, like whatever item you're building, you're very close to it. I think you could just do your Grom, base for item, get your first item, and then you can take a fight on even number terms. You're kind of just like I don't know. I think you recovered well this game, and you're forcing unnecessary fights. Like the bot gank you force, you die for no reason. This gank you're forcing a 4v3. I think if we could just kill our camps and chill. Look at these. I'll press tab here. I know the kills are kind of uh deceptive because your mid's up 30 CS. Sorry, wasn't able to pause it. The KDs are deceptive because like your mid's up 30 CS, so the cat doesn't even have item yet, and he has full item. You're 0-3, he's 3-1, but again, if you base, you have one item in your inventory as well. So jungle's even items plus up a level. I mean, Rengar just leveled up killing you, right? Tops, again, kind of up CS. Mid's up 30 CS. AD carries even CS, item to item. Like, everyone's actually pretty even. I think if you just play normal, kill your camps, and then take, like, again, 2v2s, 3v3s, like, just even number fights, not down a number, then and you get your form. You see, you had items the entire time, like I said. The, I Sorry, my mic unplugged. But yeah, I think you could just take it slow. I mean, I know this is an old VOD, and I know we've been talking more recently, but until you really have your form and your first item, you really don't want to be forcing fights, and you're kind of like, again, you're the one. It's different to be responding to fights and forcing fights. In the last 3 fights you've died or been a part of, you're the one starting them and forcing them. You know, it's not like you're just responding to them. Like here again, you're the one like walking to river. Like, well, you think Alistar again? Do you think there's a higher like? I guess you have no camp stuff, so nothing better to do. But you're still in river looking for trouble. I'd maybe go into like mid lane to play for orbs. Jungle's kind of scary. Like, you see Katarina mid, the Victor here, Katarina mid. I would just maybe go mid here and just lane versus Katarina. Don't even hit any minions if you want orbs like that. Um, no, kind of awkward. I think we're just kind of perma forcing. Like, we're so look how close you are to your form. You're so close to form. I would just go to a lane and just hit the person like here. Go top and just throw W at E. Why not, right? Like, you need your form. You're so close to it. We finally realize they're fighting top. We finally come. E, or you should either wall, flash Q here, auto. I mean, he should die. Nice. I mean, 1 for 1. I think if you don't show yourself and you walk, walk this way and then E over the wall, he won't react as fast, and then you'll be able to flash Q him easier. And obviously you missed your flash Q, but it's fine. You still kill him. Shut down. You get your form. It's worth. Preferably you didn't die, but it's fine. And now that you have your form, now I'd want you to be spam forcing. But now like it's now you guys now it's 22-10. Like, you guys are down like you guys are down way more now than 5 minutes ago, and you were forcing 5 minutes ago. You know, like it's kind of like it's not too late per se, but I think these are all still pretty equal items. But I definitely think that the enemy team is a little stronger than they should be at this point. But okay, nice. We come with form. We get 2 kills instantly. Nice. Now we come try to kill the Rengar. You shouldn't really be scared of him. You have your W. You miss your W. Nice, that guy dies. Boom. First fight with form. Wow, we instantly won 2 for 3. Up. We went up. Actually, 1 for 3. Vlad died 1v1. So look, Victor died and we got 3 kills. AD jungle support. Now we just be scared of Katarina. We have to hold our W for him because to stop his ult. W his ult. No, don't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you just have to W when he's standing still in his ult, and it's undodgeable. It's still worth because he died. And he's probably worth the shutdown. No, he isn't. But you just have to save your W for when his either A when his E's down. His E's down right when you see him use it, or B when he's in his ult, because then he's locked in his ult animation. I think you're not saving your W properly. But still, you guys still win the fight. That just shows how strong you are with form, you know? I mean, this game's kind of a mess. I don't know. You're invading. I understand the idea is, oh, okay, he did dragon, I should do something topside. But again, you have no ult, you have no flash, you're not strong enough, you have all your camps up, just kill your camps. You're just too weak to, like, fight, you know? You don't have your E. And especially here, like, if they didn't see you top, they probably wouldn't check, but then they literally see you go into the enemy jungle. So it's just lazy. I mean, maybe it's fine if you were never gonna go top. You're just gonna go straight to this Grompier. Maybe it's fine. There's no words on you. But then especially when you show top, now they're and then you show on vision walking. Like they see you walking. They're not idiots. Like, so they're gonna come. They're just gonna come kill you. Like it's just lazy. Like I don't know. We have 6 deaths this game, and like the only death that was necessary was our first death. I think your first death was the only death. I don't really blame you because you got invaded. Nothing you could do. Every single death since then has been you just forcing a fight you didn't have to force. You know. Um, and I think it's just an old VOD. I honestly think that um, we're changing the offlines to be done more like instead of 10 days since submitting, it's gonna be like 2 days. I think that's gonna be really good because again, I think this is an old VOD, and I watched like 6 VODs with you since this was submitted. And I think a lot of the mistakes you're making in this game, you probably wouldn't make anymore because a lot of these fights are just again you're just spam fighting without form, and like, in the early games I feel really desperate. And since then we've talked about how like you really just want to farm to a form or farm to a first item, and then you can force fights. But again, all these fights you're forcing in this game were pre-form or pre even your first item, right? Or a lot of the fights you're forcing in this game are just when your ult's down, because you can still fight without form. You're not Kane's not useless without form, right? But a lot of the fights you're forcing are also like no ult, or they're fights with no flash, or they're fights where you have number disadvantage, where their mid's there and your mid isn't. So I really think that this VOD's kind of outdated, which is my own fault. But if anything, but that is all the issues you have this game: fighting without form, fighting without ult, fighting without numbers, just forcing fights when you have camps up. Just need to play it a little more disciplined. Like maybe I think this game you felt like the game was super fucked, so that's why you were forcing. But if you press tab and looked at the items and the levels and the CS, objectively the game is still not that bad. You know, like you guys are actually, I mean, you're actually winning these fights, or you're getting super close to these fights, and you're down like so much. Imagine if you were like you're slightly stronger, these fights would be you'd be wiping them. You know. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Let me know if you message me if you have any questions about this VOD.